Judges, Day 2. Full discussion questions and answers. Number 1. Why did Israel repeatedly fall into sin in the book of Judges? Israel repeatedly fell into sin because they forgot God's faithfulness and allowed surrounding cultures to influence them. After Joshua's generation died, many people stopped fully obeying God and began worshiping idols. Their spiritual compromise led them to cycles of rebellion, suffering, repentance, and restoration. Number 2. What was the purpose of judges in Israel? The judges were leaders raised up by God to deliver Israel from oppression and guide the people back towards Him. They were not kings, but temporary deliverers, military leaders, and spiritual examples during times of crisis. Number 3. What does the cycle in Judges teach about human nature? The cycle in Judges reveal that people often forget God during times of comfort, but seek Him during hardship. Without continual dependence on God, human nature tends to drift towards compromise and disobedience. Number 4. Why was idolatry so dangerous for Israel? Idolatry was dangerous because it slowly replaced devotion to God with false priorities and sinful practices. God knew idolatry would corrupt Israel's identity and separate them from His protection and blessings. Number 5. What lessons can we learn from Gideon's story? Gideon's story teaches that God can use weak and fearful people who are willing to trust Him. The victory over a much larger enemy showed that success comes through God's power rather than human strength. Number 6. Why was Samson both powerful and spiritually weak? Samson had great physical strength, but he struggled with self-control, pride, and temptation. His life shows that outward gifts and talents do not replace the need for inner spiritual discipline and obedience. What does Deborah's leadership teach us? Deborah's leadership teaches that God can raise up courageous and wise leaders in unexpected ways. She provided spiritual guidance and encouragement during a time of fear and weakness in Israel. Number 8. Why does the book of Judges become darker towards the end? The book becomes darker because Israel continued moving further away from God. Moral confusion, violence, and corruption increased as people rejected God's authority. Number 9. What does everyone did that was right in their own eyes mean spiritually? Spiritually, this phrase describes a society without spiritual authority or moral direction. People followed their own desires instead of God's truth, leading to chaos and destruction. Number 10. What's the main message in the book of Judges? The main message of Judges is that people desperately need faithful leadership and continual dependence on God. The book reveals the danger of spiritual compromise while also showing God's mercy and patience. Number 11. What cycle is repeated throughout the book of Judges? The book of Judges repeats a continual cycle of sin, oppression, repentance, and deliverance. Israel would turn away from God, suffer oppression, cry out for help, and then God would raise up a judge to rescue them. Number 12. Why did Israel keep falling back into sin after deliverance? Israel kept falling back into sin because their hearts was not continuously devoted to God. They often became spiritually careless during times of peace and allowed surrounding influences to lead them into compromise. Number 13. What does everyone do? What does everyone did what was right in their own eyes mean today? Today, this phrase describes a culture where people reject God's truth and create their own standards for right and wrong based on personal feelings or desires. How did God show mercy even in repeated failure? God showed mercy by continually responding when his people cried out to them. Even after repeated disobedience, he raised up judges to rescue and restore Israel. And the last question, why is why is strong spiritual leadership so important? Strong spiritual leadership is important because people naturally drift when there's no clear guidance rooted in truth. Godly leaders encourage faith, obedience, and spiritual stability.